Your life with, oh, there it goes. Welcome to Queer Eye for Your Life. See, now that it's recording, I had to like stumble on my words. All right, here we go. Gonna do it again. Gonna do it again. Welcome to Queer Eye for Your Life with Butch Yoga. Yeah, we are here. You have arrived. We are going to get into it. All right, so first up, going to, like, as we start, before we even do anything else, this is with Butch Yoga. So, we got to like check in with our breath, check in with our body. We are going to be doing that throughout this time. So, like, before we even do anything, check in with yourself, with how you're feeling right now, taking a moment to just let your breath deepen. Feel your heartbeat. Notice what you're feeling in your body. Maybe feelings of like a little excitement or nervousness or curiosity, just noticing what it feels like for you now. We'll take one more breath here. All right, nice. Now we're like ready to get started, right? Okay. So as we are getting into it here, going to open it up with some agreements for this space to create a container. Y'all saw some memes about what this was going to be about, but like let's talk about like what this space is. So first, be present for this time as much as you can. Remember that you're doing this for you. Like show up for yourself to do this and support yourself the way you need to. Like put your phone on airplane mode. I didn't do that. Do that now. See, that's why we need the reminders. Turn off, or if you like can't put your shit on like airplane mode, turn off your notifications for other things. Like take a second to do that so that you can like stay with what's going on. This is just 1 hour. It's 1 hour for yourself. Like I know how it is in fucking workshops. Sometimes I like get bored. I want to like check IG and stuff. No, don't do it. Don't do it. It'll be there. All the memes and stuff will be there later. Just really be here for this and remember that like you're doing it for you. And all right, so with that, check in with yourself. Check in with yourself like we just did. So that was like an example. We're going to keep doing that throughout this workshop. We'll have time to check in with your breath, notice what messages you're getting from your body, because that is really important information for you. Like that's like so much more important than anything I could tell you. So just having the time to practice that is amazing. And okay, with talking about practicing things, this is a workshop where I'm going to be giving you some instructions about what to do. And, from school, we get like this sense of pressure to do things just like the instructions are. This isn't like that. Do what works for you. If I give some instructions and that's not exactly what you want to do it your way. And don't feel pressure to do things perfectly. When we're like listing out like 5 things, if you come up with 4, that's wonderful. That's no problem. Anything that you're doing here is like a gift for you. So remember to see it that way and not like put pressure on yourself if you're like doing it good enough or something. All right. And with that, take care of yourself. So you can have your camera on or off if you want. You can have it on. You can have it off. Either way, it's cool. Share only if you want to, and we'll have time throughout to share in the chat, that I'll give some prompts and be like, does anybody want to like say something in the chat? And then towards the end, we'll have time to unmute and share together that will not be recorded. So also have some water nearby and be comfortable, whatever that means for you. If you want like something to stim with nearby, because it's hard to like sit still for an hour. If you want to like get up and move, if you got to take like a bio break, get a snack, whatever, take care of yourself. That is also part of what we're practicing here. All right. And respect each other. I feel like I don't need to say it. Y'all know about that. But, you know, it's always good to just like touch on this point that like, just let everyone who's here be who they are and want what they want. You know, everybody's going to want different things. Everybody has different priorities. Everybody has a different focus. Let people have that. And you'll give yourself the space to feel that for yourself too, that it's okay, like to really tune into what you want when you're not like judging others. All right. And last like agreement, kind of, there's like another one there, but so last agreement, kind of go deep. You will get out of this what you put into it. And like, you know, balance that with like, don't feel pressured to do things like, oh no, I need to do this so perfectly. But show up for it, do your best, and you'll get something to work with from this time. And that's awesome. Even, it says here, even making one small change in your life can add up in big ways. And I really want to emphasize just showing up here, just choosing to show up for this event, having like some kind of idea about what we're doing here and knowing that's something you want to do for yourself. That's a big step. That's a huge step. Feel proud of yourself for showing up for yourself like that. Like that's amazing, you know, like really like celebrate yourself for that. Like that's so awesome. So speaking of celebrating, here we go. We got, you know, we had to bring in the queer eye gifts, right? Like we need it. Okay. So we got the agreements. What are we actually doing though? What are we actually doing? So I'll tell you what's not going to happen during this time is I'm going to like show up to your front door and look around, rifling through your closet and all your stuff and be like, Butch, you live like this? Like what? It's always so intense to me when I do that on the show. I'm like, I cannot imagine that. So we're not doing that. But what we are doing is we're going to talk about how you can check in with yourself about your life and why that can be hard to do sometimes. We're going to do a couple 2 to 3 minute journaling exercises. So make sure you have a way to write stuff down. I'm going to tell you about how you can talk to me more after this. If you're like, this was cool, this was like just an hour though, I feel like there's more I want to do, we'll talk about that. And we will have time that will not be recorded to share about what comes up for you, because it's awesome to hear about other people's experiences and share and yeah, like be growing in community here together. So and oh, last but not least, we are going to see a whole lot of Queer Eye gifts today. So get ready for that. And who am I? Let me introduce myself. Love the Queer Eye gifts. I was like, where am I going to use this one? Oh, my introduction. That's the one. So hey, I'm Joelle. And aside from being the DIL behind Butch Yoga, I decided that's my official title now. I am also a queer life coach. So something about me is that I have been into like motivational, personal development, self-helpy type of stuff for many years. And most of what I've encountered, basically, I found it like ignores things like privilege, institutional oppression, the impacts of capitalism, and that kind of stuff typically goes pretty hard on ideas centered in cis heteronormativity, white supremacy, fat phobia, and like other stuff that it's like, fuck that, fuck that. that doesn't feel like a supportive space for growth to me. And I think that we deserve queer space to dream about what we want for our lives, to feel supported in that. So that's a little bit about who I am, what like motivated me to do this. And oh, let's go. Okay, that was like a lot of intro stuff, and now we are ready to get on with the show. All right. Oh, you got something to write with. You can, it doesn't need to be a piece of paper. You can make notes in your phone if you don't like get too lost in there. But yeah, we have our first journaling prompt, which I feel like if you're here, you must have thought about this. You must have thought about this at some point. Like you've watched the show Queer Eye, right? Like everybody's seen that. Maybe if you're here, you haven't seen that, but I'm just gonna assume you've seen the show. And if you've seen the show, you've probably thought about what would it be like if they showed up for me? You know, like what if like you got queer-eyed, you know, like what would that be like? So we're gonna do a little like thought experiment and imagine what would it be like? But we're not gonna focus on the new wardrobe. That'd be cool. Love that. New haircut. Yeah, let's see what you got, GVN, you know, like, all right. Or like the furniture. God, that'd be great. We can't do that today. That is not what we're doing today. So we're doing more of the like inner work stuff, which, you know, that's part of it. They don't just show up. It's not just like extreme home makeover. It's like, you know, they like do stuff with like your like inner stuff. So what do you think that would be like for you? What do you think would change for you? Aside from, you know, the clothes, the haircut, the new furniture and shit, like, yeah. What do you think would shift for you? And we'll have just like 2 minutes here to journal about that. And if anybody has anything they want to share already, or even just like one or two words or like a little phrase about like what you feel like would be different, feel free to pop that in the chat. I wish I had background music for this. I was like thinking, I was like, I don't have background music. I was like, should I just do it? You know, like the Queer Eye song, like, what if I just do that? Like while we're having so much fun. Okay, another minute here, or let me know if y'all are done. Lucky. Oh my gosh. Too much fun. Okay, everybody about done there? Let me know if you need some more time. Okay, we're gonna move on. Anybody want to pop anything in the chat? Sharing time. What's your answer of like, you know, if you want to pop in like one word, like I would say mine, which maybe you will feel similarly to this, would be confidence. You know, like I feel like that's so much of what it boils down to. New focus, love that. Groceries, yes. Groceries are really important. I had some grocery drama today, so I feel that. Romance, aligning what I do with what I want, with what I am want. Um, I so feel that. Also, wait, y'all, the person I've been talking, hang on, I don't want to get too distracted, but I just want to say, since like Sophie mentioned romance there, the person who I've been talking to, she just became my girlfriend like 2 days ago. So I am just like, yay. So I'm like extra like, yeah, anyway, okay. Staying focused though, staying focused. All right. Yeah, the romance, that I couldn't help myself. I'm just like, I gotta, all right, confidence, prioritizing joy, confidence, yes. Also feeling supported, yes. Confidence, taking action. Mm-hmm. That's so much of like, I feel like what confidence is. It's not just like the feeling, it's like what that feeling leads to, which is like taking action. Yay, oh, yay. Finding what I'm passionate about. Yes, that can be such a mystery, and it's like, damn, it's like, it's you, but it's so hard to know what you're really passionate about. Like, and to find what that is and connect with it, especially in capitalism, it's so messy. It's like, what are you supposed to make it a side hustle or something? I don't know. Anyway, okay. Yay, thanks, Lucky. +1 to feeling supported and taking action. Yes. Self-esteem, confidence, finding time for joy. Yes, I love that. More joy, more joy, thinking about like what it is we really want. And like, it's kind of like a meta thing, it's like not like specific. It's like joy is like the goal, but like we get caught up in all the other stuff. Anyway, okay. Lucky, showing up for myself, leaning into growth edges. Yes, I think that's something too. When we feel more confident, we want to find that space where it's like, here's where we can grow more, and I'd say, showing up for this event is a great way to be practicing this, like this is like a growth edge of like, oh, hey, let's go a little deeper into stuff. So thanks y'all so much for sharing your answers. It's like so good to hear from y'all, be like interacting here. All right, we'll dance. Here we go. All right, so but the Fab Five are not here, womp womp, except in gift form. We have them here for that. But yeah, so can't do the whole clothes and hair and makeover, whatever of that. But we're gonna do the best that we can in 1 hour over Zoom. Because what it comes down to is you deserve to feel good about who you are and what you want for your life. We, if you're here, I'm just like assuming you're queer, in like some kind of capacity, and we don't have so many models of that, of like what we can want for our lives. We like do not have that kind of representation so much. And so like really making the space for ourselves to ask those questions. All right. So yeah, as I've mentioned, and as I'm sure you're aware of, I was kind of stressing before this workshop. I was like, oh God, everybody's gonna be like sad that at the end I didn't like give them all new clothes and furniture and stuff. And I was like, no, they know that that's not possible now. But so we're not doing that, but we're gonna do something even better. Practice self-love. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. I'm gonna blow my nose for a second. I've been sniffly. I would have canceled this class if it was in person because I've been sniffly, but we're virtual, so the show's gonna go on. Okay. Oh, in the chat. Leo, what do you mean you don't have a butch fund for our clothes in the future? Shaking my head, joking. Yeah, I know. No, we're working on that. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We're gonna get the Butch Dream Queer Eye Fund. Take the show on the road. show up at your house. Okay. All right. So staying focused here. Getting back to it. Here's why checking in with yourself matters. Because we get stuck in patterns without realizing it. It just happens over time. We don't even like realize that it's a pattern. Things just seem like normal to us. Like that's what we do. And something about these patterns is sometimes they might feel like that is what you want to do. But sometimes it might feel less like that's actually what you want to be doing. And, maybe there's some part of you that wants to do it, but maybe there's like another part that doesn't want to do it. And when we bring our attention to the different areas of our lives to see what these patterns are, it creates the possibility for us to change. Not that like you need to change or you should change, but it gives you the option if you want, it gives you like the empowerment. And with talking about like confidence, part of what I think that comes from is feeling aligned in what you think you want for yourself, what you say you want for yourself, and what you actually do. So this is a way to check in with yourself about like how can I get aligned in those ways? Because then when you are, you're just like, boom, yeah, got this, confident, let's go, take action. Whoop. Next slide. All right. In Queer Eye, they love to share like a little quote. So this is one of my favorite quotes from the Reverend Angel Kyoto Williams, a Black lesbian Zen priest, amazing teacher. Look them up more if you're like curious about Buddhism applied to like social justice. And something that she says is awareness activates agency. When you have awareness, you have the possibility for change. Like agency is about like taking action, so it's like having this awareness. That's what we're doing today. All right. So again, still going into like what we're doing today because it's just like, huh? So when you're keeping up with just like living your life day to day, it's so much just doing that. It can feel really hard to take the time to check in with yourself about what it is that you want. Like you just get so like kind of caught in the wheel spin and it's like, you gotta like JVN is saying here, you gotta get out of the box, step on the box, see who you really are, what you want. So that's what we're doing because this is about your relationship with yourself. Any relationship takes work. And your relationship with yourself is no different. It takes work for you to keep getting to know yourself over time. You keep changing. It's not like, oh, I'm myself. I know myself. No, biggest mystery right here, yourself. That's it. And woo, the relationship with yourself, that is the deepest relationship that you will ever have of any relationship. Like, fight me on it. Like I mean, no one else goes through everything with you aside from you. So really like, thinking about that when we're talking about like self-love, it's like, damn, okay, I'm like, ooh, I got a girlfriend now. And it's like, okay, but like, I'm here for me for like the whole thing, from like birth to death. It's me. It's me who's here for me. So yeah, and it's you who's there for you, and really appreciating that and like showing up for yourself in that. And so the questions that we are going to be going through today will help you get to know yourself and help you decide how to give yourself more of what it is that you want. And okay, just to mention, I feel like I've already mentioned this, but oh, it's so hard not to get caught up in this. I get caught up in this all the time. That this kind of work is not about you needing to be fixed. This is about loving yourself, like that self-relationship work, and loving yourself enough to look at your life without judgment, dropping judgment, so that you can decide what it is that you want to give yourself more of. Okay. And one little note I wanna mention. So we are talking about like your life and what matters to you in this workshop. And maybe that seems selfish. I know that can seem hard for a lot of us to get on board with, like there's so many messages that we get that like taking care of yourself, that's selfish. You're supposed to like take care of other people. But the thing is that by you choosing to live your life more intentionally, with more of what brings you joy, more of what makes you feel satisfied, more of what makes you feel happy, free, and alive, giving that to yourself extends out through everything you do to everyone else. Boom, mic drop. Okay, like that's it. So that's what we're doing here. So if you have feelings coming up like of like guilt, that it's like, oh, I don't know, I shouldn't like focus on myself so much. It's like, let that go. You deserve it. You're worth it. It can really be a lot easier for us. I feel like, especially my butches out there, I know that this is like, it's like a trope, like in memes, that we just like do everything for everybody else and like want to be like the most helpful. Like the Butch urge to be the most helpful person in the room, like that. And I feel that. I feel that. It can feel so much easier to want to show up for other people than ourselves, but you are worth it. You deserve the love and care that you offer to others. You are worthy of that. You can give that to yourself. So that's what we're doing here. But like, okay, maybe you're like, oh yeah, I want more self-love and stuff. Totally. That sounds great, sure. But even when that's what you want, when you want to try to start to offer yourself more of that kind of care, it can be really hard to know where to even start. Um, as JVN is saying here, like strugs to funk, like it's the executive function shit is difficult. Like that's kind of what we're doing here is like going like at like the like I don't like the business term, but it's kind of like the executive level of like making decisions about like what you want to be doing. So that is what we're doing here. I'm going to be leading you through some questions now that will help you get to know yourself and decide how you want to grow. Because it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks you should be doing, because they'll all have their opinions. Other people in your life will have their opinions of what they think you should be doing with your life. Or, even aside from other people, just like in society and shit, like whatever. But this is about tuning into what you want, what matters to you. And so here we go. You are going to do great today, sweetie. I feel it. I feel it. So excited. Here we go. Oh, check in again. Told you we're going to have check-in time. So now after all of that, after taking in all of that information, after starting to think about this, let's check in again. Taking some deep breaths. And checking what messages are you getting from your body now? Like, what's coming up? Are you feeling like any kind of resistance to some of this, or are you starting to get bored? I've been talking for like 30 minutes, but we're going to start doing some exercises now. But yeah, just noticing without judgment, feeling into it. You just have some water. Those are also messages. Like I just for a second, just want to say, when we talk about the messages that you're getting from your body, it doesn't need to be like this mysterious, like, oh, I feel tingling here, which must mean this. No, it could just be something like, I'm thirsty. And then you drink water. That's like also listening to the messages from your body. Ah, thirsty. All right. So take one more breath here before we move on. Cool. Cool. All right. Oh, now, hang on. Oh, got a worksheet. I'm going to, you don't need to use the worksheet to do this. Oh, where were we? Here we go. View slideshow, get to the chat. I'm going to drop the link to the worksheet in the chat. So yeah, you can just see what that is. We'll be going through all of the questions that are on it, but if you just want like a PDF to have, sure. Made a worksheet for you. All right. So here we go. On Queer Eye, you know, they focus on 5 areas: style, grooming, home, food, culture. Now, you're going to decide which 5 areas you want to focus on. And it could be any areas. You do not need to pick style, grooming, home, food, and culture. You can pick any areas of your life. And if you're like, I don't know what's an area of my life, like, first of all, if you think it is, then like that counts. You know, I have some examples. Okay, so first of all, no wrong answers. You can't like, or I don't know, maybe somebody could, I don't know, but probably no wrong answers. And really, it's just any area of your life you want to bring some extra love, attention, and intention to. So some other examples aside from like the ones on Queer Eye are like your social life, emotional, environmental, intellectual, spiritual, sexual, physical, occupational, financial, community, hobbies, relationships, fun, creativity, culinary, whatever. You know, like I did this, Butch yoga was one of my areas because that's something that like I really focus on in my life. Like, so there's nothing wrong if you have like, you know, if you want to pick like playing guitar or like writing or like your collection of action figures or something. Or like if you want to pick like your finances or your career, that's it's not like, no, you just have to pick like cool stuff. No, pick whatever you want. Finances and career are like really cool too when you put intention into them and feel good, feel confident about how that's going in your life. So, all right, we're picking 5 areas, but remembering the instructions from before. If you end up with 4, if you're like, I can't choose just 5, I want 6. Okay, there's no rules. It's like, it's fine. It's for you. Right. So choose the areas you want to focus on. Does anybody need more time? Say in the chat if you need more time, or like give like if you have your areas picked out, you know, you can do like a thumbs up or something. Let me know something. I'm gonna blow my nose again for a second while you get your areas. Okay, and I think of all the gifts in this workshop, this might be one of my favorites because I like to imagine when they were like choreographing this and planning it out, and like it's really fun to think about that. But I'll give you time to focus on choosing your areas. We'll have about another minute here. Also, if you feel like you're like getting stuck, like, oh no, how do I choose which 5 areas? Just pick 5. You can do it more for other stuff, other times, like you'll have the worksheet. Just pick something to work with today. It doesn't need to be like, oh, these are the most important areas of my life. Like that's a lot of pressure to be like which 5 areas. No, just pick 5 that come up. And because as we go through, we're going to just be going kind of quick with what comes up off the top of our heads. You can spend more time like really digging into it later, but like for now, we're just boom, boom, going through it. Okay, we are going to keep it moving. Y'all got your 5 areas? Maybe. Yep, okay, got a yep from Leo. All right, so we are moving it along. Yep, yes, yes. Thank you. Thanks, y'all. It's great to hear from you because otherwise I'm like, I don't know how this is for you. Right. Here we go. So, okay, talking about these areas and the ways that you might feel about them. Just want to say that it can be really easy to get caught up in judging yourself and like judging yourself according to other people's ideas about what makes a good life, about what your life should be like. We get so many messages from like fucking advertising, from the media, from so much shit that like comes back to capitalism and these institutional forces of oppression, and they can make it feel really fucking hard to feel like you have any chance to get what you want. That sucks. That sucks. That is very discouraging. But that's what we're doing here. We are taking this space so you can check in with yourself about what matters to you, separate from those kinds of ideas, so that you can explore what possibilities you have from here in those areas to do what you want. So, all right, now we're going to work with these 5 areas. Boom. All right. So, first off, we're going to celebrate you because that is so important in this work. So, for each one of these 5 areas, write out how you feel proud of yourself for how things are going. Just like a line or two, just we're starting off with that. How do you feel proud of yourself for what you've done, for how you have like grown in that area over time? Like maybe even if like in an area you feel like, oh God, I'm like things are a mess there. Maybe it used to be worse. Feel proud of yourself for like progress that you have made. So, okay, we'll have just one more minute here. And if when anybody's done. If you want to like say like got it in the chat, then that helps me have a sense. But yeah, we're gonna have about another minute here. Do 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 do. Good. Okay, cool. Cool. Got a couple more seconds here, so wrapping it up. So proud of you. You're doing so good. Look at you. Look at how much you've already done. You know, just that. So important to take that time to celebrate yourself. Like, I'm sure you've heard of a to-do list. Well, also take the time to make a ta-da list. Like, boom, look at all of the stuff you've done. If you just constantly give yourself more shit to do, that sucks. That feels like, you know, Sisyphus kind of shit. But ta-da list, it's like celebrate yourself, appreciate yourself. You do so much. Okay, awesome. Now that we've got that, now that we've got like that foundation, that headspace, we're going to look at where we have space to grow in each of these areas. So for each of these 5 areas, write out how you feel there's space for how you would like to change things, how you would like to grow. So this isn't about necessarily like specific action steps yet. This is more like general general kind of like directions for growth that you could see. I have another minute here. Do 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 do. Like, don't actually know the song that much. But no, it's like a good little tune. It's better than like the Jeopardy music, you know, like that shit's stressful. This is kind of like feel free to pop in the chat and you got some notes. I know these are big questions too, and I am just giving you like a minute or two, but sometimes I find that's what works best. You know, if you like, you could take like an hour for each of these questions and like journal on it, you know, but like sometimes you just go like, boom, what comes up first? What comes up first when you like think of it? Gives you an answer. Okay. See a unicorn. I think that means we can move on. Rapid fire is difficult. That's also, I hear you, Leo. And also that's part of why at the beginning I said, don't put so much pressure on yourself to like feel like you need to totally keep up with this. We could have made this like a 3-hour workshop, honestly. Lucky knows I can fucking talk on Zoom for 3 hours. But I was like, no, we're gonna go through this. So yeah, do your best and see what comes through, you know, see what comes through. That's part of it, like taking the pressure off. On the show, they have a week, you know, they have a week. We have an hour. Thanks, Lucky. Thanks very much. Lucky says, very much in sporty Butch coach mode right now. It's fun. Yeah, that's the vibe. Also, did I mention like I have a girlfriend now, so I'm just like, yeah. Yay, MJ's done. Good job. All right. We are moving it along. Also, I took my ADHD medicine today, so I'm like extra like, let's go. Wait, did we? Yes. All right. So as we talk about the areas with space to like grow, I want to say that part of how the mind works, and I say your mind, but it's kind of like this is how like most people's minds are. There's like certain like tendencies of the mind, and especially in like the culture that I am that like we're so exposed to is so competitive, and like with this push to do more, there's always this feeling like you should be doing more. I don't know, maybe that's just me, maybe you don't feel this, but I feel like this is whoo, yeah, this feeling of like you should be doing more, and like you're not enough as you are, like you should be better, like if you had been trying harder though, you'd be in a better place right now, right? Like that kind of shit. Mine loves to do that. Mine loves to do that. It's a mess. It fucks you up. It's an endless trap because even when you get to that place where you think you should be, your mind will still do the same shit to you. So you never actually get to feel satisfied or like a sense of acceptance. So by letting go of judgments and accepting that where you are now is where you are now. And that's okay. That's just how it is. And recognizing that you are worthy as you are right now, and that you have possibilities to grow from here in the directions that you want to. So, all right, we just went through some stuff. We're going to do a check in here for about a minute, taking some deep breaths. Check in with your body now. What's coming up? You're doing some digging in your psyche. What's it feeling like? Breathe deep, feel it. One more here. Okay. Nice. I wish more meetings had that they were like, let's take a break to like take some deep breaths. I wish everything was like that, but this is my shit. So I'm like, that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So now, oh wait, I got ahead of I switched these slides around. All right. So now you're going to decide on one action for each area. One action that you can take to move towards your direction of growth. And here's the thing, here's part of the thing about it. Decide on actions that you can really get on board with. Like when I say that, like, what's something that's actually possible? I love to set all of these intentions for myself that are just like, and I'm going to do this every day, and I'm going to do this for 10 minutes like what's actually possible for you? What's something you can feel like you can commit to and feel good about that and feel like that's something that you want, and it's not like a chore or a burden, and that you have the energy levels and you have the time to do it, even if it's just spending 5 or 10 minutes on something. Writing out one action you can take for each area. Leo says, my ideal every day. I feel that. I feel that every day is such an ideal, and in practice, I don't know, unless you really like are on your discipline, it can be like a way to, this is something I find, it can be a way to beat myself up. If I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this every day, and then I don't do it, then it feels discouraging. So pick something that feels like really like a baby step, you know, pick like the like fucking like babyest step that you could take in the direction of growth. You know, don't like pick the like, you know, boot camp level, you know, that's not what we're doing here. We're trying to make it like just like so possible for you. All right. Yeah, so Leo said my ideal every day, my realistic ability, one day, but it's a start. Yes. And you know what we're doing here is not just saying like one day, it's like what's something you could do this week that you could plan 5 to 10 minutes for to do this week. A small step that will just be like moving in that direction. All right. So we're going to keep it moving. Oh my God. Just first off, I want to say I'm sorry, we are not going to finish in an hour. I should have known. I practiced and totally got it like way under an hour, but I'm just having too much fun with y'all. Time flies. Lockie knew to it was like, this is really gonna be an hour. And I was like, yeah. Okay, we're gonna go a little over. There will be a recording of this, so if you have to go, that's okay. But like, we're not gonna go so much longer. Because I gotta be out of this room in like 35 minutes anyway. So yeah, definitely will not go over that. Okay, so now back to this previous slide. Got a little out of order here. Okay, so you listed out an action step for each area, or at least in theory, you have done that. Or like maybe you got like at least one, you know, like wherever you're at, wherever you're at. Do you notice any feelings of resistance coming up when you think about making these changes? When you think about like actually doing it, actually doing the thing, what resistance comes up? So we're going to take about 2 to 3 minutes just to journal about like what are the blocks you feel when thinking about making these changes? Because part of the thing is that even when we think we want things, there's parts of us that resist change. There's parts of us that resist it. If not, you would already be doing these things that you say you want to do, but there's part of you that's like resisting it. So dig into that. What's going on there? What's the block? And this is where it gets vulnerable. This is where it really gets into like, you know, like the deeper feelings, but that's what you have to do to be able to make the changes. You know, you gotta really like go deep into it. We're going deep. Okay, about another minute here because this is good stuff. It's no, there's a lot here. Um, mm, Leo says it's also nice to think that their feelings of resistance aren't our enemies either. Maybe they're a form of protection, even if misguided sometimes. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Leo, for saying that because that is so true. It's so true. It's like the resistance, it's not bad. That was like to help you in a certain way, you know, for stuff that maybe you didn't feel like you were ready for before, you know, but that's why we check in now, bringing this awareness so you can see, oh, is that still useful for me? Am I ready to grow in a different way from here? So, okay. Wrapping up on this question, but feel free to revisit all of these questions later. Take more time, like absolutely. Leo says, is that still useful for me? Resonates. Yeah, it's really a great question to ask because it's not even like, is this bad? It's not about if things are bad or good. That's not the point. It's like, what's it doing for you? That's the thing. Okay. So boom, we went there. Dancing. So fun. They got the like rainbow flag too. I kind of do. It's like a rug. But it's kind of rainbow. All right. So I think this is our last journaling question. I think this is our last journaling question, which is good because it's like one now. So last journaling question. For each of these areas, imagine what your life would feel like 3 months from now by taking the actions that you listed, by starting to do that. And maybe, you know what? Maybe it's not some like huge dramatic thing, but even thinking about the small changes that could happen by you taking these like small steps in the direction of more of what you want. Like, what could change for you? And aside from like external results, like for me, when I went through this myself, one of my areas was like creativity and playing ukulele. And aside from thinking like, okay, well, if I practice in like a more consistent kind of way, my ukulele skills will improve. It's like, yeah, but that's not why. The reason why is because it's like a way of showing up for myself. And like that builds my confidence and my belief in myself when I show myself how I can show up to this thing. So that's part of it. Because I always kind of just like fucked around with it, like sometimes pick it up. I have fun, I love to sing. But it's like, what if I got more serious about it? Like, what would that mean to me? How would that like help me grow as a person? It's like really cool to think about that. Okay, so dun, 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 dun. Wrapping up here. I mean, I know you could take so much more time to write about this, but we're just going for like initial impressions. What comes up? Yeah. Imagining life 3 months from now. You're like doing all this stuff, feeling so confident, enjoying your life more joy, more confidence. Yeah. All right. That was a good little dance break. Now we'll have a minute breath break again to check in with yourself. What does that feel like in your body as you think about like these areas, as you think about what you feel proud of, what you feel like there's space for you to grow, what actions you want to take, what impacts that could have over the next 3 months. What's that feel like in your body? Notice. We'll take one more breath here. Okay. Okay. So I love this gift too. The gifts are so fun. I love them. So something that happens with when you set intentions, and we're talking about this with Leo a little bit of like, saying you're going to do something every day. Um, Sometimes you're not going to keep up with the actions that you say you will. I don't know. Maybe you will. Maybe you're different. You're like, not me, Joelle, stay safe, but I do what I say I will do. And that's amazing. That's like so powerful. That's so powerful to do what you'll say. And for most of us, it can be hard to keep up with. It can be hard to keep up with, and it happens. Forgive yourself. Give yourself a lot of grace in this process. Stuff happens. Life comes up. You just forget. You can want to, you just forget. Get distracted, fall into old habits. It all happens. It's okay. And like, so part of the thing is that it's hard. It's hard to make changes, but notice what's coming up for you as you feel these kinds of challenges. Like, if you are deciding that you really do want to make these changes for yourself, how can you plan to move past any blocks that you've identified in like, what's going to stop you there? What can you do? So that's like some like deep self-knowledge to like not only get in tune with what you want, but what's stopping you from getting there. Aside from like capitalism and stuff, but I'm talking about like, for example, like me like wanting to play ukulele more. Capitalism isn't stopping me from playing ukulele like a little bit more, kind of, but like not like, it's not, we're working at like, more personal levels, which of course those other forces influence it, but like what's possible within your realm of action? That's really a big part of what we're looking at here. It's like, what do you have the power to change within your life that you want to? Okay. And it's hard. Listen, it's hard. It's not easy. It's kind of a lot easier to just keep in your same patterns, but it's a lot less fulfilling over time. So that's why it's worth it to put in this intentional effort, like we're doing now, into looking at your life and choosing what you really want for yourself. It's never too late. It's never too late to make changes in pretty much any area of your life, I would say. We have the space. You get a little older, it can feel hard to make changes. That's like part of it. That's like part of like what seems to happen, but you still have the possibility. You still have the possibility to live your life like the way you want to. And by making this kind of space to give yourself this like level of attention of what you want, you create space to give yourself more of what you really want and not just more of what's like automatic. Okay, so it's a journey. It's such a journey. And I think I've already mentioned, it's like amazing that you even made the decision to show up for yourself like this, to come to this 1 hour workshop. And with, the challenges of it, the two things that I would say you need, aside from the new clothes and hair and furniture and, all of that, and like the recipe from Anthony or whatever. But the two things that you really need to keep going are patience and persistence. So patience is for when you feel like you fuck up, and you're going to, you're going to feel like you mess up or something, at like whatever action steps. I mean, okay, if anybody like 3 months from now is like, no, you know what, Joelle, I did all of my action steps perfectly, just as I said I was going to, send me a message, DM me in 3 months. I want to know. I will like be very impressed. You'll get like some kind of special Butch yoga prize or something. But for everybody else, we're probably gonna mess up. And keep loving yourself through that. That's part of the loving yourself thing. It's like not just like love yourself when you're doing things perfectly. Love yourself when you think you're keeping up with everything as you should. No, it's like love yourself when you feel like you're a mess and you're fucking up. Like that's like patience. And persistence. Persistence is the will to keep going. You know, even when you mess up, do it again. You do it again. You miss a day of whatever, you know, like you said you were going to do something every day. You miss a day. You don't, oh, fuck, I missed a day. Oh, no, I always mess this up. No, you miss a day. Okay, I missed that day. That's all right. I'm going to do it today. You know, that kind of energy. Continue showing up for yourself. And that in itself, showing up like that, it's like a practice. Like in yoga, which yoga is not about like how far you can stretch or how much you can like make yourself into like a pretzel or something. It's about showing up for yourself, being present, connecting with who you really are. Like that's what it's really about. Boom. Okay. Here's the thing though, even with all of that, it's not easy to keep up with all of this by yourself. It's hard. It's hard. It's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible. But it sure does help to have some support to do this kind of work, you know? And so if you're here, that says to me that you're like ready, you're willing to show up for yourself. And I want to keep supporting you. So if you're here, you are invited to do a free follow-up call. Hang on, I'm gonna drop that link in the chat too. Boom, go back to the slideshow, get to the chat. Okay, so there is the link where you can book a call with me. You can schedule a time to talk with me. And I would love to hear about how this was for you. You know, like we're going to have a little bit of time to like check in and share now. But yeah, I would love to go deeper with everybody who's here. Also people watching the recording. If you're watching the recording later and you like go through this, hit me up, schedule a call. Let's talk more. This was like just kind of like skimming the surface here, as I think you could tell. There's like so much that's possible here. And yeah, I would so love to hear about how this experience was for you and what you want from here, you know, like what you've uncovered. And also, aside from booking a time, slide into the Butch Yoga DMs and say, hey, I'd love to hear from you, you know? Yeah, hit me up in the DMs. We can chat. And okay, so we are getting to the end of the recorded portion of this. So what we're going to do is we're like virtual, but we don't care. We're gonna we just pretend we're not. We're gonna put our hands in. Everybody do it. Even if you have your camera off, just do it for like the group energy. Put our hands in, and I'm gonna count to 3, and we're all gonna say, love yourself, because that's cute to do. All right, so you put your hand in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, love yourself. Yay. Nice. Love that. That was fun. You're gonna do great. You are going to do great. All right, and this is my note to stop the recording now. Thank you so much for everyone watching the recording. Yeah, hit me up in the DMs, book a call, and catch you later. And everybody who's here, we get to chat a little bit now.